Howdy, howdy, and welcome back to another Lord of Heroes video. Alright, I've been wanting to put out this new Ultimate Contract Guide since we had the update for the contracts. Now, if you don't know what the updates are, the first thing that happens is after you get through you're set one of your contracts, and that's the green Lucilica, the blue Chrome, and the red Lyre. After you pick two, then before it moves you into set two. But now what it does is you get to choose whatever set you want to go into based off of what you kind of want to do in the game. Now, keep in mind that this list is not set in stone. This is for a specific progression, which I would definitely not explain all of that because that would take up too much time. But for this specific progression, you want to pick these heroes. First hero you pick soon as you start the game will be the green Lucilica. You want her because your very first contract is 15 days. Reasons you don't want blue Chrome is because he is needed for nothing. Nothing. You're more likely not pushing PvP because if you don't got the money, you're not really about to do well. There's a few F2P players that's doing okay, but they already been playing this game for a long time now, so you're not about to be on their level. And you want the green Lucilica because she has crazy burst damage. She destroys bosses. I'm pretty sure you saw some of my videos, maybe my dude Celery Sticks videos that show the power of Green Lucy. We won't go over that. Afterwards, you got an option to go Lyre, but preferably you will want to go Chrome. You will want to go Chrome just because as the F2P option, he is your turn bar booster. If you have purchased the green Arslan and PvP is not your goal, you don't necessarily need the blue Chrome, especially if you purchase the Dark Rosanna as well. You won't need the blue Chrome for any content, but you can still pick him up if you want to. He's still a solid hero. He's really great at what he does. He's just not necessarily needed for anything. Now, in a different progression, you could go Lyre first and then Chrome. I would not go Chrome first, once again, because he's just not needed for anything, where Lucilica and Lyre are needed for what they provide in the game. Lyre, on the other hand, at first everybody looked at her, even including myself, as solely a PvP hero and can possibly be a farmer, but you can use anything that got AoE damage as a farmer. You don't need her. Um, but she is needed for the raid. So it is like a pick and choose because the green Lucilica might be your main damage dealer for the raid, but the red Lyre is more of the utility. The fact that you can put a defense break on the boss's turn once your team is hit with her makes her that much better in that sense. But in this specific strategy, we're going to go with the green Lucy. All right, let's move on. For your second pick of contracts, you're going to skip over set 2 and go straight to set 3 and get the blue Lucilica. Now you want the blue Lucilica because what she is going to provide you is sap damage on her burst. She is the second F2P hero that has damage down, and it's on her first skill. The only other hero F2P wise is the red Mei Ling, and then P2W or P2P will be the light Vanessa, but we don't have her global yet. So those aren't our options. So since she's pretty unique in what she has, she is the best damage dealer for the Obelisk, especially once you get into the higher stages where the enemy scale so high that it is ridiculous and possibly impossible for people that haven't been playing and spending quite a lot in the KR if you haven't been in that time frame. So she's definitely going to be used there. So for the rest of you, yes, since we had the changes with the raid, that makes her damage even more perfect for the raid boss. I've been testing her and using her, and she's been doing really well on my Lucy account, where we just pretty much hardcore building all the Lucilicas. Can't wait for Red Lucy, definitely. So this is why you're going to do this. Keep in mind this specific progression is for a raid build, and this is the raid build that I'm pretty much working myself, sort of, kind of, yeah. So after you get the blue Lucy, then you still got to pick one between the green Lyre and the red Chrome. Now, it doesn't matter who you pick at this point because neither one of them are needed for any content. They're not really, I don't want to say they're not useful because they are useful, but I want to say that they don't do enough that it's important on who you pick. So, I mean, if you want to go waifu, go waifu. If you like the way Blue Crumb looks or you just like his skill kick, pick that. I really can't give you an answer there. Just pick one. Doesn't matter who you pick. Because now you just want to get that contract out of the way so you can move on to your third pick. Now, in your third pick, it's a toss up. You can either go set 2 first or set 4 first. Now, set 2 is the one that we skipped over, which has the Fire Aleph. We got the green water and the blue Lumi. Now, if you haven't picked up a AoE fire DPS, it's probably time to do one. Aleph doesn't do anything great. She's just damage, and if you put her on a leech set, she can keep herself alive relatively well. So that she got going for her, and then she's fire damage. Like, some people might pick up red pup, so you might not need her. So if you like a red pup user, I wouldn't recommend picking up Aleph. You don't need her, like, at all. And instead, I would go for the blue Lumi. The blue Lumi is going to be great for your Obelisk. She's decent in the raid, and she's insane for PvP. But since we're more focused on a raid team, she's going to be decent. She's going to be decent there in terms of her utility, taking turns and slowing the boss down, especially once you put some skill investment into her. So she's gonna be insane in that regard. Now she's also gonna help you a lot for your Obelisk once again too. And even though Obelisk doesn't really do much for most of us right now, I mean, at least she's helpful. At least she's helpful. Then you have the green water, which is going to be also good for Obelisk. He's insane for PvP. He doesn't really do much for the raid. Most people probably will opt out of getting him. I think he's still great. I really haven't seen much outside of PvP him use, and then I've been using him on one of my accounts, just testing him out and everything, seeing how he is. I know he's good, but I mean, until we get to a point where we actually need him, I don't think he is the best pick. Once again, that's up to you. So you either choose your if you didn't pick up AoE fire damage. So that means if you have the red Yashua, that's not AoE. He buffs and then he can still do damage, but nah. And if you didn't spend money and have like the red Johan, then you probably want to pick up the red Aleph. If you do have any AoE like the red Johan or the red pup, then you go for the blue Lumi first. If not, you can get either or second. And if you want to just use water for your PvP or your Obelisk, by all means pick him up because he's not a bad hero. He's really strong. He can tank well for you. Now, of course, after that you're going to go into set 4. But if you didn't choose set 2 first, you go right into set 4 and then go set 2. So let's look at set 4. Now in set 4, we have the blue water, the red Lumi, and the green Aleph. Now, first and foremost, you're building a raid team. Once again, green Aleph is your best option. I've been using her, I've been playing with her, and she is insane. She's pretty much like a Buzzet Red Rosanna, which we don't have on the global, but she kind of is a better in a way because like she gives a shield to herself and whoever has like the lowest health at that time, but when she auto attacks her S1, she provides whoever has the highest attack on your team extra turn bar boost. I think it's like 30% or something. Don't quote. All right, she gives a 20% boost, and it can go up to a 30% once skilled up. Now, This is insane. I thought she was pretty good when I read her skill kit, and everybody was kind of hating, like, man, she's not really nothing. She's not really much. But she gives your damage so many turns. Like the way I be seeing it in a lot of my raid battles is she would go, and my green 9 would be behind the boss. She would pull him in front of the boss, and then he will burst and hit for so much damage. And it's like, man, I'm glad I made that choice as my first choice. Now, after that, it's still in that territory where it kind of don't really matter as much. It all depends on what you have and what you're going for. If you're really trying to go for like that turn reduction hardcore comp, then having the red Lumi wouldn't be a bad option because I believe she does that stuff too. Yeah, so she does have action gauge reduction on her S2 and everything. She provides a lot in her kit. She's going to be really strong, but she's not necessary if you already built another fire damage. But keep this in mind too. If you didn't pick up the red Aleph, if you wasn't looking for that AoE fire damage, she is a great one to pick up later. She's going to be good for your Obelisk. She's going to be pretty decent for your raid, and she's just going to be all around a great powerhouse for you to use. So you could also go with her as your second option, or your first, or even your first option, depending on how you picked the previous heroes that we discussed. Now for the Blue Water, he's the only like easily accessible, I would like to say, free to play option for speed scaling damage. So if you was building a speed scaling damage team comp for like PvP, he would be really good to add into the addition there. He can do some considerable damage in the raid. I just got him on my 9 account. I don't have any plans of building him anytime soon because I got so many projects ahead of him, and it takes a lot to work on it, and I don't quite have the funds to invest heavily into that account anymore. So slight investment, but it'd be a while. We have some stuff up for him eventually. But it does require you to get good gear with speed. That's the only problem with speed scaling. It's pretty much better for people that are spending money and just going to put a lot of money into buying gear. Then speed scaling damage dealers are easier to build. This is why everybody, and include myself, always say when people ask, how do you build the Dark Mikhail? You don't build them. It's just for that reason. Speed scaling is not easy to build unless you're spending money, or you just get really lucky. But it doesn't mean the heroes are bad, because there's no such thing as a bad hero in this game. It's just where though that hero can be used at the most. So he is an option that you could go for, but he's the one that I would lean out of. Now, to finish everything up, set 5, our newest set. And I know you're like, gamer, why not pick set 5 first? None of these heroes do anything that amaze that you would need them before any of the previous heroes that I've spoken of. Like, the only one that kind of come close will probably be the Blue Beretta, and a lot of her kit is derived off her luck, but I think she still would be a great option. She would probably be the first one that I would say pick up in out of your set 5 contract. And then after her, once again, it's a toss up based on what kind of team comp you're building, or if you missing something that you don't have from the previous contracts. You can either go with the green Sophie or the red 9. I'm personally on the 9 account picking up the red 9 because it's the 9 account and I have all 9s but red so far. So yeah, I'm working on that. We got about how many days left till we get him? We got 26 more days, so we'll be able to get that pretty soon. So that's pretty much it for my contract guide. I'm sure that I'll be updating and changing this in the future, especially if they make some changes. We still got other contracts to come in. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, make sure you smash that like button. If you didn't, there is a button for you guys as well. I'm back. We're going to have some more content coming. I got a lot of videos to make pump out and a lot of things to discuss and go over with, plus some entertaining stuff. So stay tuned to all of that. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, because that will be greatly appreciated and helpful for both me and you. Yeah. All right. And this is your host, GamerDude2088, signing out. Much love. God bless. Deuces.